When I first came to the United States, I was 7 years old. My family left on April 30th, 1975. That was the same day that the US announced that they were basically evacuating Vietnam. When we left, I don't remember being able to say goodbye to my dad. We got to the boat. There were parents who shoved their kids onto the boats. That's what my mom did to us. She said, when you get up there, scream for your brothers and sisters, and then scream for me. I'm sorry.
I met my husband in college. We were college sweethearts. Going to America by himself wasn't easy. We write letters before there was no email, so it was not as easy to communicate. Life in the Philippines is really, I guess, easy. You have a lot of help, but I had to make a hard choice, leaving my own family.
I was born in the United States. My parents are immigrants. My mother was a seamstress, and she chose to work in a sewing factory that was in the basement, but across the street from the apartment that we lived in San Francisco's Chinatown. And the reason for that is that as with the long hours she was working, every day for lunch and for dinner, she would dash back across the street to make something, for us. And then my dad had worked at a restaurant in Chinatown, and he consciously worked at a restaurant that opened late, and he worked a night shift. So, they worked very hard to give my sisters a shot. So, excuse me.
It's an interesting thing about the Asian community. Everyone has a different story. Every community has a different story of how they got here, how they developed. And so the report and other things that we're doing is hopefully shed some of the light on those things. Anytime people don't see you or don't talk about you, solutions never come, right? So we want to make sure that we position this organization and our community for future success.
40 years later today, when it comes to home ownership, I want to be counted. I want to be counted because when it comes to the quarterly report for the US Census, I want to be counted in terms of being able to check a box that says Asian American.
As an immigrant, I think all immigrants that I help, get to belong when they own their first home. And I think that's the mark of living the American dream.
One of the challenges that we have in our country is that the success of some Asian Americans, some because of hard work over a long period of decades or generations, masks the fact that there are still many, many Asian Americans that are in the same position as my parents were when they immigrated. So I think by not having us classified as other, but as Asian Americans, it'll allow us as a country to have a much deeper understanding of the broad spectrum of Asian Americans.